Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. 1 second. All right, awesome. Good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So it's been quite a day dealing with the elections and things like that, trying to anticipate what's going on here. I've got a couple. Give me 1 second. Shirley just sent a few in via email, so let me get this in the elections and things like that, trying to anticipate what's going on here. Let me get this in the 1 second. Shirley just sent a few in via email, so let me get this. There we go. Got that posted there. Good. All right. One more second here, guys. Had a little technical difficulties there with YouTube, but we got through here, so that's good. And let's get this here. All right, super duper, awesome. Good. All right, so today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading around big events with earnings. So we're going to talk about the earnings big event. We've done a whole series on earnings in the past. We've talked about really the main rule of that is don't trade in earnings, but instead of just taking a lotto, right, there are some opportunities on some names that do make sense. So before we get started, though, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market today, and then we're going to go over the see where the futures are at, and then we're going to take a look at the topic, and then we're going to go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, let's take a look at the SPX here on the monthly chart. See the pull here. So right now we've got a double inside month here on the monthly chart. So monthly on the SPX has turned green. Okay, and we've actually cleared a major resistance level. You can see on the weekly chart, right, as we started to cross over into the Cloud Canyon right here, things started to break down a little bit. And the volatility started to pick up, right? So we anticipated this heading into the election, so it kind of made sense that we'd have these inflection points, things turn red. And we did get a nice down move last week and pretty amazing up move so far. Certainly today up 74 points. And then a good push yesterday too. So a close so far, we still have a little bit of week left over the prior resistance levels here, which did serve as support briefly. And let's see if that can hold again. Again, it's a really major level up here, and we're going to see if that can continue to hold. The daily chart, again, it's getting pretty complex in here. So we're looking at a impulsive move up from the Corona crash lows. And we originally thought that this was going to be the wave 4 move, that this was just a zigzag down. Now it's still zigzag, but we could have multiple zigzags in a flat, right? So what it's looking right here is like an ABC, and certainly this move up here is almost convincing that the wave is over, right? So, but we'll see, right? The only kind of area of interest is the fact that we haven't crossed over the highs of this level yet. Right, we're right at the 786 right here with an upper shadow, kind of at the 618. So this could be a wave 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So we just have to be a little bit careful with that. It would have been nice to see a little bit of a stronger candle here today, but again, there's a lot of uncertainty going into the election, so we've got that going on, right? So we've basically been dealing with that. So we're going to see if this can push up right here. We'll see if the retrace here is viable. We'll see if this prior resistance here can try to serve as support here again. Again, we couldn't get over the bear flag here, and we basically couldn't get above that level again here with this upper shadow. Again, some selling pressure in that area. Let's take a look at the intraday price action. So we had a nice gap up this morning, turned into a gap and go today. Right, so this is one of the things that we talked about today is a possibility of follow through on this. So we did get a nice move here. The first 15-minute candle here did leave with an upper shadow, but the second one gave a strong candle to do the 15-hour breakout. Right, we had a nice move there. We compressed a little bit and then pushed to the highs, and we had a nice inside 15 reversal. And we've done a series on those key reversal candles too, and that saw a push down here into the end of the day. Let's take a look at the levels here that we provide to our members for each market open. Seems to be a nice gap up here, and like I said, that first 15 minutes is a little bit tricky. This candle right here was one we were going to look at to see if we could get confirmation to fill the gap below, right? You can see we have a level right here, yesterday's high. So that is the first area of interest on a gap up, is a potential gap fade. But once we kind of held into that range, right? Once we held in that range, right, we got a nice inside 5, started to get constructed, and then boom, we got this nice candle here to get over the level. So we got through a larger term, a long-term volumetric level here with this candle, and then we just continued to push, right, rally, triangle, and then worked our way up until we got that compressed inside 15 level, down, retrace, triangle, and then worked our way down. So very, very interesting stuff today. It even formed kind of an inverse head and shoulders right here to get the final breakdown into the end of the day. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see how they're behaving or misbehaving here tonight. And what we can see here is we had a couple interesting moves, right? So we had the geometric line here today, right, which worked its way up pretty nicely throughout the day. And then once we lost that geometric line today and our signal zone, that gave us a nice little move here between signal zone and signal zone before we bounced. Now we're up about 10 points here after hours, but it looks kind of choppy. There's a couple things that we could look at here. We could put our geometric line here. Right, you can see we just broke above that here this evening. So let's see if that holds tonight again in kind of a downward channel right here and see if we can work our way above it. Another thing we could do is put another geometric line here. Right, you see it was a triangle and a little bit of a breakout. So we'll see how that level holds throughout the evening tonight. So good stuff. So let's see what we have in store. So from here, we're going to get to our topic. So we're going to be talking about day trading around big events. And so today we're going to be talking about earnings. So this week we talked about straddles and strangles. Again, these are strategies that we can use over big events. And one of those big events is earnings, right? So let's take a look at a couple names that have had earnings recently. So we don't want to do these straddles and strangles around names that don't have big market maker expected moves. These are kind of strategies where the market maker is saying, hey, this thing can move like 100 points. And we want to see if this thing could actually do it, but we don't want to take a call. We want to take a put. So sometimes we'll take both, right? So that's kind of the idea with that one. And again, my first suggestion is, not trading into earnings, right? Wait to trade after. Use the 15 orb strategies. Use momentum the next day. But let's take a look at Amazon, which just had earnings recently. Okay, so Amazon earnings. Right, so we had that on the 28th of October, right? It gave us an inside day this day. Now it didn't have a huge gap down, but it did push, right? So one of the things we could look at is the straddles and the strangles from that day. So that was the 28th to the 29th. So what we'll do is we'll look at the October 30th expiration on Amazon. Now these are going to be expensive, right? So I'll show you a strategy too that we can look at that can be helpful when we're dealing with those ranges. Let me get the other screen pulled up here, and let's take a look at. We'll just go with the. We'll go with the 1 hour chart here. So we'll go on the 1030. Let me get that pulled up here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go to the 1030 straddles on Amazon. So right before earnings, right, we closed at we closed right at 32.12. So let's just figure the 32.10 straddles on Amazon. So here we go. So we go .amazon 21030. We got the calls. Right, and we said the 32.10s, right? Yep, 32.10s, and then we'll just we'll add the puts back to that there. That's the calls plus the calls. Okay, and we'll take a look at earnings here. So on the 28th to the let's take a look here. Yep. So from the this is actually on the 29th, right, into the 30th. Okay. So if we put those straddles up here, you can see they're pretty expensive, right? So the from the 29th to the 30th, right? You can see right here, this is a crazy move, right? So talk about risk, $151 right here for a huge drop down, right, over hours, right? But it ended up working its way up to the 183s, right? So that is obviously a very risky strategy to go through with earnings, but the strangles can be a lot more effective, right? Especially if we're looking for a move, and I'll show you an alternate method when we look at these here in a second. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll look at the out of the monies, right? So at this point here, what we do is we look at the market maker expected move, and I think it was about 100 points that day, right? So instead of doing the 32.10s, we'll go with the 33.10s. Okay, and so the 32.10 puts, right? We'll go with the 31.10s, right? So just go out of the money on each of those. So that gives you your strangle trade. From again, very, very similar on this one, but they did become profitable. But again, very, very expensive. $68, you don't want to risk that into earnings, right? So this is one of the tricky moves here, right? That's why these things can be very, very dangerous, especially if it doesn't move. But one of the things that is interesting, right, is going into the one thing that we can look at is the Qs, right? So, an alternative move, right? So if we expect Amazon or these other the other big names that reported that day to make a move, we can look at the Qs to see if they'll give us any potential on that one. So here we could look at the 276s on the Qs, right? So if we go here, so we go to the Qs, QQQ, and we go to 276 calls, and the Qs, the 276 puts, right? We see that based on the down move of that market, so you can see here that this was actually a much better opportunity, right, with a lot less risk, right? So you can see into the next day, the straddles closed at $5.08, right? So if you look at a lotto, right, a lotto type trade, right, these things pretty much opened up here at 395, right? So you're talking about a 1 point risk, but these things went all the way up, right, based on that move to 782, right, from $5, and they even hit a high of $8.60. So a lot of times we don't actually have to trade the stock itself. We can look at something that when that stock moves, to look at a sector, especially with names like Amazon, Apple, and all these names reporting, to trade an index that they're heavily weighted on. So that's something to look at as well. So good stuff. Well, I hope you guys found that helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can, and we'll try to wrap up as early as possible so everybody can have a good night's sleep and another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, well, let's take a look here. So we've got Shirley sent a few in via email, so let's take a look at those. Again, everybody, thanks again for keeping Shirley in your thoughts and prayers as she continues to get better all the time. So PDD. So again, the K-Web was really strong today, right? So we had a nice move with a lot of the Chinese names, and this one gave a good gap up here today, right, over all levels, and actually gave a really nice gap and go trade. So let's see if we can get some follow through in the Chinese names going into tomorrow. And again, the price action, most of the move is at the open, so it's a tough one to get into. But if you can see it, once it cleared, if you can get through that the pre-market high right here, you can catch a nice momentum move on PDD. So let's see if that gets any follow through tomorrow. Nice find on that one, Shirley. Great stuff. ANTM, let's take a look. Yeah, a lot of these healthcare names had a big push here today. So a nice gap up there. And a good push, right? This is a tough one here, but it did give a nice reversal with a little bit of a Dragonfly Doji, a strong move right here with low volume. But again, the gap up here today was key on a lot of these names, right? So you had ANTM with a good gap and go today. Also, UNH was pretty impressive today too. Another nice one right here. And amazing how this one was. We've been tracking this pitchfork level, right? It's been kind of just hanging out in that pitchfork channel, and it got right up to the top of the pitchfork before it found a little bit of resistance. NVIDIA, another strong name, really strong name here. So this has been working its way through this channel right here, or this triangle. A good gap up today with good volume. Let's see if we can get up to the top of the triangle. Maybe it'll try to give a little breakout on that one. Again, earnings coming up pretty soon on this one. This is one of the last big tech names to report. And then Docu, very, very strong name today. Again, beautiful, beautiful name right there. Good volume on this one, and we're going to go ahead and put this on the radar. So let me put this up for tomorrow on the game plan. So good stuff here. So let's go Thursday, and let's add Docu to the bullish radar going into tomorrow. JD was another nice one too, also with PDD, but that's definitely one to keep on the radar too. And good stuff. So today we had this, those are out, and we had Uber and Lyft were some big names today. So those are on the 30 orb list for tomorrow. So good stuff. Amazing that tomorrow's Thursday already. So good. All right, well, that's all the chart requests I have tonight, so not a lot of folks tuning in. I think maybe everybody's busy, preoccupied with the elections or something like that, so just waiting, just taking a break. So not a lot of requests out there, but let's just go through, just for anybody who's watching the recording here, let's go through a couple other names that are looking pretty interesting going into tomorrow. So we've got Zoom on the radar. Okay, so Zoom gave a nice pullback here to the 50-day moving average, had an inside day yesterday, and came back down, tagged the inside day range, and bounced off of it right at the 8-day moving average. I think this is a great one to keep on the radar for tomorrow for some potential follow-through strength. Let's take a look at a couple other ones here too. So Twilio is another one. Okay, so Twilio with a nice gap up of the inside. This one didn't come back and retest, but some good volume right here, and it cleared a lot of the geometric levels here today. So that was a nice move on Twilio. QCOM with earnings tomorrow. or tonight. So again, nice gap up on QCOM so far. Let's see if it can hold these levels. Again, the after hours of this 148.37 level is going to be very important for it. But keep an eye on QCOM for a gap and go, and that could help the SMH, could help the semiconductor sector. So let's keep an eye on that one too for tomorrow's 15 orb and see where we go from there. So good stuff. All right, so those are kind of the main ones that we're looking at here. So again, not a lot of folks putting chart requests out there tonight, and that's okay. I hope you guys found that helpful. I hope you guys found the kind of trading into earnings. Again, we don't recommend it, but again, sometimes with names that are going to give big moves, sometimes it helps us to look at the straddles or the strangles. You saw Amazon actually trading those was extremely frightening and detrimental, right? I mean, look, you saw the straddle itself was like $150 something, and then got vol crushed, right? That's the one thing you look at it. But sometimes the sector can move along with it, and you can still get a good trade out of it. So that's an idea right there. And also you can look for stocks that move in sympathy with those. So speaking of earnings, we've got Roku coming up tomorrow night. Let's take a look at that real quick. So Roku's looking pretty interesting. The market maker expected move on this one is about 20 points right now, and the implied volatility is over 150%. So 20 points on Roku gets kind of interesting. The straddle pricing right now on this week's expiration is pretty expensive. So guess what? The market maker expected move is about $20, and the straddle price is $22. So they price that into the straddle. So again, unless Roku has some blowout earnings on this one and goes up like 40 points, still a lot of risk on this, or down 40 points, right? Still a lot of risk. There's some levels that still need to be tested in here. There was a key breakout level, that may want to be tested one of these days here soon, and we'll see what happens there. So good stuff. All right. Well, again, I hope everybody found that helpful, and I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Again, thank you, everybody. There's a request on the YouTube channel. Is that why this thing didn't go through? Did it come through as private? Oh my. No, it says public. It's a public stream. That's really odd. Well, thanks, YouTube. I was wondering why there was no folks showing up here tonight. Weird. Huh. Weird. A request on the YouTube channel. Let me take a look. Let me test the link here real quick. Seems to be testing the link is okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. There's a chat request too. That's really odd. Oh, hey guys, I didn't see everybody was here. Okay. I didn't turn on the live chat. Okay, thanks guys. Okay, we're in. Yeah, we're good. Haha. Found it. Okay, that was weird. Okay, cool. All right, good. All right. Well, I was like, okay, there's nobody here. So have a good night. So give me 1 second. Let me pull this back up here. All right, good stuff. Thanks, guys. All right, so good. I was like, "Where's Umesh today? Where is everybody?" All right, cool, good stuff. All right, well, we got through Shirley's request right there. I'm not sure what was going on there with the live stream on that one, but YouTube can be pretty funny sometimes. Sometimes it's pretty unpredictable. All right, well, good. So Yasi, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the heads up. I really appreciate it, guys. Let's take a look at PayPal. All right, so PayPal, wow, kind of a Morningstar reversal right here, right? So we had a real body right here with an inside day down, and then quite a reversal off of this. This is an intense reversal move right here. So definitely keep an eye on PayPal here. See if we can go over the 50-day moving average. See if we can push above there and get to the these prior drop down levels on it. Yeah, so nice evening start. See if we can get over the 50-day moving average going in tomorrow. It could be very interesting. Good stuff. Good find, Mike. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look. So let's take a look at Netflix. Yeah, so Netflix is kind of interesting here today. So it's been holding this 786 retrace from the recent lows, and it did give us a nice push up last week and then a nasty pullback as well. Tried to take the inside day up yesterday and then came back down again. Gave a good push up here this morning too and then came back down. So Netflix is struggling, right? So maybe the raising the prices thing isn't going too well for it, behind the scenes. But that 50-day moving average is basically like that gap window area. So that's a little bit tricky on that one. And then Facebook. Yes, Facebook was huge today. What a big move on this one. It gapped up off the inside day all the way up into the channel. So let's see if that continue to push up here and get to the top of the channel here. It's got some levels it might want to test, some closing gaps above. So that could be interesting there. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, man, my pleasure. I appreciate it. Cameron, what's going on? Good to see you. APPS. Let's take a look. So APPS. So APPS with a inside day up yesterday with some great volume on that one and some nice follow through here today. We talked about this. This was a Algo 382 Paul level that we talked about on the streams on the Elliott Wave show on Sunday. We had we was holding the 618 right here, kind of gave that push back, and then it really did make a nice move up on APPS. So a good move on that one. Great follow through on that. See if we can continue to move on there. Doyu, Cameron, let's take a look. Doyu. So wow, this thing's getting really choppy right here. Earnings coming up. Again, looks like it's kind of triangulating. I can't believe how ridiculously fast Thinkorswim is moving right now, and like everything's just moving like so fast. It's just amazing how much it slows down once the data comes in. But cool stuff here. So keep an eye out here on the this geometric line. It's trying to get its way out of the cloud. Some good volume on it. So see if they try to do a little bit of an earnings run there. Plug. Again, held in there pretty well, right? So one of the things we look at we had that butterfly or the crab formation right here to get a nice move down there on the harmonics. So that's one of the things that we're looking at on it. And then here it came right down to the golden zone, the 618 right here at the 50-day moving average. A nice push up there. Again, a little bit of a pullback here today, filled the gap and came back in. It's holding to 382. So looking generally pretty bullish on that one as well. GFI, a little bit of pullback on the gold names. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting, right? So this whole election thing's been a little bit weird, right? So the market can be a little bit strange, right? So, we would expect high volatility going into the election. And guess what happened? We had low volatility. The market loves to switch things around like that. So a very interesting move here. Kind of falling wedge-ish, but it's got room to get to the downside. We've got an open gap below here, and gold's been struggling a little bit. And this is an evening star reversal right here, right? Real body over that real body, and then closing below 50% of the range of the first real body. So keep an eye on GFI for a potential downside movement if it continues to stay weak going into tomorrow. So good stuff there. What else? Tracy, what's going on? Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Let's take a look at Tesla. Again, Tesla. Into the triangle range right here. Yesterday closed above the 50-day moving average, got a nice gap up off of that, and then kind of a nasty pullback, sitting right below the 50-day moving average again. Again, the way I'm seeing Tesla right now is just this whole triangle range right here. In fact, we can go ahead and shift this because of that level right there. Really what we want to see on Tesla is a strong close above or a strong close below the triangle so this thing can get going again, right? But really, we talked about triangles recently on the Elliott Wave show, and we can kind of look at this as a kind of a 1-2, or a 1-2, right? 3. Well, that wouldn't really be a 4, but 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then we'll see if this thing's ready to do a wave 5 up. Tesla's bound to make a move one of these days again, right? So it's Tesla. So we'll see how that goes there. Again, a little bit tricky in the middle of the triangle right here, but see if we can break out there one way or the other. Zoom, again, one to keep on the radar too. Nice bounce off the 50-day moving average. I like how it's right at the 8-day, right? Let's see if we can get some follow through on it. If you can't catch the first wave up, look for the second wave and then see if we can catch that. DKNG. Finally got a little bit perky today, right? So again, we called this one down to below the cloud, right, and into the congestion zone. That's exactly where it got. I would like to have seen a little bit of a stronger candle today to see if this thing's ready to move. But look for it as a potential doji sandwich tomorrow on DKNG, and see if they can give a push up and get a little bit of an earnings run on that one. And then AMD, I'm actually switching to kind of bullish on this one. I know we're in the descending channel right here, but that gap up today was pretty nice. And I like how it's above the cloud. I like the volume on this one. Let's see if we can stabilize a little bit and get some follow through at least to the top of the channel, then see if we can break out of there. So that's definitely something we're going to be looking at too. ZEK, what's going on? BIIB, what a candle today on this one. Just amazing. This is so funny, right? So we were talking about this today. The 350 calls. Not that I ever would have been like, yeah, let's go 350 calls on Biogen. But wow, these things were as low as 5 cents today. And they hit a high of $27 from 5 cents. What can you imagine a trade like that? You have 1,000 contracts on that. What a day, right? You go from like a $5,000 trade to 200, almost 300 grand in one day. That would be quite an amazing trade. But not that I would ever recommend doing that. So that was kind of an anomaly. But cool stuff there. And then BLNK. BLNK with a interesting kind of little rising wedges type look on this one, right? So, but again, these names have been pretty hot recently. See if we can get some follow through on this one. But yeah, looking pretty interesting right here. Let's go to the daily chart. So daily chart, yeah, kind of an interesting little move right there. Strong candle yesterday, decent volume. This is kind of a lower volume type name. See if we can continue to push above here. Again, I'd like to see you get over that 382. That's kind of the big levels that we're looking at there. Fast Johnny, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Things are good. Yeah, so we reviewed the, this week we've been going over just kind of trading into big events. I thought it would be an appropriate series this week with the elections this week. So good stuff there. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate it. Umesh, what's going on? JMIA. The Amazon of Africa. So again, this is kind of the big one that we've been looking at right here. Kind of this cup, potential handle right here. So look for a little bit of action right here, maybe a little bit of a dip, and then let's see if we can get a volume breakout of this level. We got earnings coming up, so it's a little bit. Let's see what earnings has in store for JMIA. Baba, again, a down move yesterday, right? But what a dip buy on that one. Wow, down move yesterday on the Ant news, right? Not being able to take Ant public, and nice retrace today. The sector was so strong. The sector was so strong today. Right? Just amazing stuff there. So a good move on Baba today. What else? Neo. Gosh, this thing, you just can't keep this thing down at all. I mean, it was a shooting star, right, at like 2 o'clock, and then it's like, nope, I'll just become a doji sandwich, right? So keep an eye on Neo going in tomorrow. This thing's just been a monster. So eventually this thing's going to go down. But when it does, you know, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll look for some setups on this one. But wow, this thing's just been just a monster for so long. Incredible stuff. Eventually, institutions are just going to take profit on it, probably through earnings. So we'll see. Who knows? But we'll see where it goes. And then XPEV. Let's take a look. Woo! Nice move on that one too. Again, this a lot of Chinese names are strong today. Again, just kind of keep an eye. Strong candle right here. Look for a pause. Maybe it'll give a little bit of a run up into earnings on that one. Not one I've ever traded, but yeah, my pleasure. Fast Johnny. Yeah, let's see some software names. Yes, the CRWD again was gave a strong move at the open there, closed over the 50-day. Docu, again, beautiful candle on that one. Vive, nice candle. SPLK, decent, right? So a lot of these software names good. Again, Zoom, again, great close at the ADMA on this one. Microsoft, decent candle today over the cloud, and Adobe, nice one there. CRM. Right below the 50-day, but finally a move on CRM. Good grief, this thing's been a nightmare. But again, ABC, right? This thing looks like it might be done. It might be working on a move up. Keep an eye on CRM, guys. If it gets over that 50-day moving average, this thing might be starting a fresh wave up. Good stuff. Thanks, Fast Johnny. Umesh, yeah, Square earnings coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow after the close. So this is earnings with Roku tomorrow. But here's another one too. Again, nice push up right here. Again, PayPal was looking good there too, Yasi. So again, these move in tandem, a lot of them. So just kind of keep an eye on it. Earnings coming up, like we said, tomorrow after the close. So very interesting there. Terran Pre, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, QCOM with earnings tonight, guys. Keep an eye on this one here for a possible gap and go tomorrow. Again, nice. It's at 148 is going to be the key number to get above tomorrow morning, and then keep an eye on it for a possible gap and go on that one if we can get some volume in it, right? So TDOC, oh my goodness. This thing's like toast. Here, right off the 382, that's going right on the bearish radar for tomorrow. 382 pullback on that one. Upper shadow off of the cloud. I mean, that's about as bearish as it gets. Candle-wise, right? So let's keep an eye on it. Nasty volume 2 off of the cloud, too. Rejected the 8-day. Good find. DKNG. Again, possible doji sandwich on this one. It's over the ADMA, so kind of keep an eye on it there. See if it's pausing, getting ready to go. Okta. Again, another software name right there. Nice move right there. Close over the resistance level. See if that can keep going. And then CRWD. Exactly. There's another one here, too. Perfect. Yep. Nice close. This is a strong one this morning. We pointed out this morning in the live stream at the open. It was really bullish at the open. But guys, some of these names, just for day trading, they just don't give a lot of volume anymore, and they give big spreads. So a lot of risk on those. Suyag, what's going on? Yeah, Neo. Good job on Neo today, by the way. Neo with a nice move there. Again, it could be a possible doji sandwich going into tomorrow. Some big moves today on Neo, guys. I mean, just kind of look at the day trade stuff, right? Nice inside 15 reversal down, right? Lower shadows here off the 15 or below, right? Worked its way back up. Inside 15, worked its way down. Pretty cool stuff. Good stuff. Umesh, no. Reed, you're here. What's going on? Umesh, you too. I was like, well, all right, guys. Have a good night. I'm going to go cry myself to sleep. Fashion AMWL. Yeah, American Well. Wow, finally got over the 8 on that one. Umesh, maybe looking at that one too. A little bit of upper shadow off the 618, but let's see if we can try to continue to push on that one. D-Dog, there's another one we need to take a look at. We haven't looked at it in a while. Yeah, D-Dog we need to keep on the radar. Upper shadow off the 618 as well, but nice bounce off the cloud. CRWD we looked at, Docu we looked at, Zen, let's take a look. I was just throwing out software names out there. Yeah, Zen with a nice move too. It's a good software name right there. ZS, another one. Decent, right? Inside day up, held. Yeah, all the software names were super duper strong today. Roku. Roku with a nice close above the 80 MA on this one. Again, guys, earnings tomorrow. So again, premiums are really high on this one. So let's just see what it does after earnings. This one's not going to move a market, right? My suspicion on Roku is that they beat and it goes, but again, they're expecting a 20-point move on it, so it's hard to say how high it's going to go. Roku's just strong. I mean, a lot of people. There's some analysts out there that are bearish on it. I mean, look at it. It's been really just kind of up, sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways, up, sideways. I mean, it's kind of like a little Neo type move right here. So, again, to put a full wave count on this one, you got kind of a 1-2. Maybe this is 3, 4, 5, and then a kind of ABC down here. Maybe it's starting a fresh impulsive move up. Roku can go. But it would be interesting, though, if it gave us a nice viable dip on that one, especially if it went down on good earnings like everything else did. I can't wait to see when these things really start to go again. Now with a pretty decent move, now it's obviously tricky to trade. Team, nasty. Upper shadow off the 8-day on that one. A little bit of caution there. T-Doc we just looked at, also bearish on that one. And FSLY. Is this thing ever going to go back again? I guess it needs to find another partner besides TikTok. Right, so it's a pretty decent down move right here. Again, wow, $10. Okay, I mean it's kind of in close to the 618 here from its all-time lows there, but see how it holds. It's kind of right at the 8-day, a little bit tricky on this one. But if Zoom goes tomorrow, watch FSOI might move with it. Chester, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Plug, yeah, nice gap fill on this one. Has some potential on this for a potential little earnings run. Again, I like how it filled the gap and stayed strong. So nice move there. Yeah, it was so odd that it got frozen for me. I know. So yeah, I got a BIAB. Well, Wuma mentioned it this morning on the live stream. BIAB halted, I think, a couple times today. So it was out there. So we need to prank you with that. I don't know what was going on with YouTube today. I was like, okay. Anyway, it's been a little bit funky recently since, I don't know. I don't know if they did any updates or something like that. Tracy, Fiverr. Give me a Fiverr. So let's take a look. Let's see. So we had this here. Move lows. This is kind of the last big wave up here. Held the 618, right? Got to the 80 MA and just kind of chopped around a little bit. One more retrace. 1, 2, 3, 4, right at the 382. See if it holds. This could give a potential bounce on it. It's a tricky name. I'm just not really like a big, major company, right? It's kind of like a gig work type company for crowdsourcing type stuff, right? And it's a lot of international type work. I'm not saying they don't do great work. I'm just saying this is kind of a tough name overall, fundamentally. But it is that thing. Terran Pre, yeah, let's take a look. Apples and bananas. Let's take a look here. All right, so Apple again. This is some crazy level right here that I had. It's kind of interesting, but again, it's still in its trend box, right? Oop. I want to move the trend box that much. It's still in the trend box. Again, here's your macro upper trend line right here from the Corona crash lows, right? And it's still basically kind of trending in here. So A, B, C, maybe it's done. I'd like to see some nice volume come in here. Let's wait till after X dividend, see if we can get strong, get over the trend line again, see if we can get back up to all-time highs. Again, all these names, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, they all beat on earnings, right? So, eventually these things are going to get going again. So good stuff. All right, well, I'm glad I logged into YouTube so I can see you guys. And good stuff. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. And once again, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And if you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube. And whether you're new here or not, please be sure to hit the like button. It goes a long way. I really appreciate that. And once again, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We got one more show tomorrow night. And then we'll be back Sunday night with Paul Algo 382 for the Elliott Wave Show on Sunday night. Riding the waves with John and Paul. So see what kind of ideas we have coming up into next week. So once again, guys, thank you so much for your support. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And we'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow for the Good Morning Market Prep video. Until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game.